Welcome to the Women's Dialogues channel. In today's episode, we will talk about education, coaching, training, and changing lives. What is it like to have this profession? How can you get into this profession? So, with all these questions, let's start. So, for today's episode, we have with us Miss Bandhan Preet Mahajan. She is the founder of Genius Editorial and Edupreneur Company. So, welcome, Miss Bandhan Preet.
Namaskar. Thank you for having me here. And it is indeed overwhelming and humbling to be a part of this platform.
So let me start by asking you, how did you start your journey in this field of education, coaching, and training?
So, as far as my journey is concerned, I wrapped up with my schooling in 96. And by that time, my mother was already running a proper, what you call a tuition center of sorts. And it is from there that I started off my journey. So, when I was in class 12th itself, I used to help her with a few students there. And following which, it continued for a little while. Then I got married at the age of 21. So I took a hiatus from my, kind of career. And following which, I had just completed my graduation by that time. And then in 2007, on account of certain issues that I faced at my in-laws' place, I had to take up my studies once again. I had to look for a job also. So I completed my B.Ed, I completed my MA in economics as well. And then I sought a job in a school, and I was first of all recruited as a PGT economics. And within 6 months of my recruitment, I was promoted to the post of being an academic head in the same school. So that was on account of my leadership skills, the kind of work that I was doing, a lot of innovative ideas that I had put into practice. So that
Right.
obviously paid rewards, and I was, given the position of this academic head. And I also took up some assistant professorship jobs at a few teaching learning platforms, some very
Right.
prestigious ones like the Trinity Institute of Professional Studies, the All India Institute of Local Self-Government. So
Right.
this is how I, initiated my journey as an educationist. But
Yeah.
then after a little while, it's like, you know what, Shashi, when you are sitting in this one particular chair for a very long period of time and you're not constantly listening to a set of instructions in your vertical. So somehow I felt stifled. I somehow felt quite restricted, and I felt my worth was depreciating like a piece of furniture myself. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like your creative juices are not allowed to flow. So there is some degree of restriction. So
Yeah.
I wanted to, invest more on myself. I wanted more time for my skills. I wanted to invest on more on my relationships, my knowledge, my thinking tank, everything. And that was
Right.
feasible. I mean, either I could go ahead and seek job security, or I
Right.
could, take a risk in life and seek more growth. So
Right.
I decided to choose and, move ahead with growth because I was feeling stagnant after a certain point of time. So 7 years
Right.
of various kinds of jobs, but then I felt stagnant, and I decided to, take up this transition from being an educationist to being an edupreneur. And that is when Genius Editorial was born. So that's the, starting point from where this entrepreneurial baby called Genius Editorial actually was born. And initially we started off with academic tutorials only, but
Right.
later on, we decided to expand and diversify. So we took up a whole lot of things like coaching and training for English communication skills, personality development. And
Mm-hmm.
then we also ventured into youth skill mentoring. So we are into life skills provision. We are also into providing professional skills to the youth of the country, so that
Right.
once they're out of school or college, they are skilled enough, they're empowered enough to, and they're job ready. So that's the
Yeah.
whole idea
I
of
would like
running
to just
this.
interrupt you in between as you are explaining about how you get into your profession and
Yeah.
so what it is like to have this profession, what kind of challenges or struggle one can have in this professional life.
So obviously, as far as one positive aspect is concerned, I have only one word. It's an extremely gratifying experience. The way you have this ability in you to touch lives, you have the ability to transform lives, you have the ability to
Yes.
empower masses. I think that in
Yes.
itself is such a gratifying feeling. So that's
Mhm.
the best part about being in the field of education. So
Mhm.
in a way, directly or indirectly, you're contributing to, nation building. So what could be better than this? What could be more noble than this? And
Definitely.
as far as my obstacles are concerned, I think what I realized during the course of teaching students, first of all, since I was providing academic tutorials, I
Right.
actually went ahead and realized that the kind of syllabus, the kind of curriculum that they were exposed to was
Mm-hmm.
lacking, skill building in them, was lacking
Mm-hmm.
value education in them. And that's
Mm-hmm.
precisely the reason why I felt that I need to start up with a venture like this, which is catering to life skills, which is
Mm-hmm.
catering to professional development and things like that. And with the new NEP 2020 that we are envisioning in for India, I
Mm-hmm.
think things should fall into place provided there is a great degree of political will, proper execution takes place. So I
Right.
hope these kinds of obstacles, because I think
Right.
what we were having till now was not something which was
Mhm.
pertaining to the holistic grooming of kids. So that was a
Right.
major obstacle. But
Yeah.
now we are trying to work on that. So I think that is where our hope lies.
No, definitely. That's very key point and a very important point you touched about the developing their professional skills when they are entering into after their school, high school, and fall into the professional jobs and market and finding themselves what way they stand for in the professional market. So
Absolutely.
as we know, you have trained many people internationally and nationally. What kind of experiences or observation do you observe in trainers in common? And where do they struggle or find difficulties, which the training or method can be best suited option for them to move forward. So I'm sure you have a lot of experiences, so definitely you might have observed in your students something in common.
So if you ask me, first of all, about my signature style, what is the best training method? So I
Mhm.
obviously look as a trainer, I look at the 360 professional grooming or personal grooming for a child or for a student or for a youth or a client, whatever you may have. So
Yeah.
when I talk of the 360 personality development, I am catering to primarily three aspects of any personality: the A
Right.
component, B, and C. Now, what are these A, B, C? A standing for the affective domain of a personality, which is to cater to the EQ quotient or the
Mhm.
emotional management. Then the
Right.
B is the behavioral aspect of the personality. So we work on that. And
Mhm.
C is the cognitive, domain of one's personality, which is to do about with the thinking systems that a person
Mhm.
possesses. So as
Right.
far as I am concerned as a trainer, I look forward to, working in all these three domains of anyone's personality. So that's my way of looking at things as far as training is
Mhm.
concerned. And
Right.
as far as the obstacles that you asked about, I think when it comes to training and coaching, uh,
Mhm.
I still feel that there is this whole lot of sensitization that needs to be, provided to parents. Now, the
Mhm.
problem is that parents are still, I mean, I have got two sets of parents. There is a set of
Right.
parents who consider this, paying the fee or paying the particular remuneration for these kinds of trainings. They think that this is a kind of expenditure. So it becomes
Mhm.
very important to sensitize parents about the fact that this is not an expenditure. This is an investment that you're making in your kid, and this will come back to you multi returns. So this
Right.
is, I think, this is the second set of parents, and I think there is a whole lot of parents who need to be sensitized on this issue. So this is one major obstacle in the, training and coaching industry, and not just this is about the smaller kids, even about
Yes.
the elders, or maybe
Mhm.
about even the corporate sector. So when it comes to corporate sector, I
Right.
think whenever it comes down to cost reduction, you're a trainer yourself, so I'm sure you must have experienced it yourself as well. So when it
Mhm.
comes to cost reduction, the
Mhm.
very first thing that they'll cut down is on the training investment. That's the
Mhm.
first department that wherein they'll cut their expenditures. So I think
Right.
training is very, very important, and we need to sensitize people around us about the importance of training, coaching, and
Right.
mentoring. So that's
Right.
one thing that I feel.
Yeah, I totally agree with your point. Like, because whether it is pre-education, post-education, or in being in profession, it should be a continuous development of any human being. Because once you are finding yourself that you are stagnant on some position or some training, you lose the chance of your development. So one should have, whether it is professionally or in business platforms, they should definitely focus on continuous development in form of whether it's training or educational certification. There are a lot of ways they can develop,
Absolutely.
but
And
one should do
Dr.
that.
Shashi, as a trainer, man, I myself, even though I've been a mentor myself, I'm a trainer myself. But even
Right.
then, even now, I continuously ensure that I'm a learner for life. I continuously try to upgrade, upskill, and upscale myself. So you
Yes.
just cannot, I mean, you cannot think it this way, okay, I've got the certification and now I'm done with it.
Right.
So I would like to share this with the audiences that even I myself as a trainer, as a coach, I've actually undertaken, skill trainings for 13 skills during the lockdown period itself. So
Wonderful.
you just, yeah,
Wonderful.
you just cannot sit down. So even if you're
Yes.
done with a particular certification, okay, give yourself some time, take a breather, and then come
Yeah.
back to, learning a new skill. So you have to
Right.
continuously update yourself. Otherwise,
That's
you will land up nowhere.
that's true, and that's amazing that you are focusing in this way, and you are utilize your time very in a beneficial way for your work, for your business, for your development. So similar way, I would like to ask, because many of women, they get stuck and they don't find those paths, or I can say how to connect the dots for those women. Any particular tip for other women to start their own business or develop their passion? What kind of tip would you like to give to them?
The one and only tip, which I also had a problem with, because when I started off, I was actually diagnosed with acute depression in the year 2000, 2001. So it was
Mm-hmm.
at that point of time that, I mean, you well understand that there's this whole lot of social stigma which is attached to mental health issues, right? So
Right.
people are of the opinion that, okay, this girl has actually gone mad. So that's the kind of usual perception that people have, that if you're facing some kind of a mental health issue, that means you've gone
Yes.
mad or you've lost it altogether. So,
Mm-hmm.
having listened to all these kinds of negative things around me, I actually started feeling that yes,
Mm-hmm.
I am not capable of anything. And I had
Mm-hmm.
developed this self-limiting belief about myself that I am
Mm-hmm.
incapable, I'm useless.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as
Yeah.
far as we women are concerned, we tend to, surround ourselves with such kind of self-limiting beliefs. We tend to underestimate ourselves, our worth, our esteem. And I think that is the first thing. So the minute you get rid of these self-limiting beliefs about yourself, the minute you obliterate them, I think that is the day you will not just, embrace life, but you will also embrace your success. So get rid of your
Beautiful.
self-limiting beliefs. That's the first thing you should do.
That's very spontaneous and beautiful quote. I can say that it's beautiful. And thanks a lot, Miss Bandan, for sharing your stories with us on our channel to empower and inspire others. And that's it for today's episode. I will come back with a new episode, interesting stories and motivation for a successful life. If you like this episode, do like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon button. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.